Hello, my name is Emily, as you may or may not know, and today we are diving back into your guys' horror stories. Terrified? I'm terrified, shaking. My goosebumps are plunging off of my skin. Okay, but today we are not talking about your hookup horror stories, but we're talking about, that thing that can, typically become before the hookup. If you're classy, of course. A date. We're talking about your guys' date horror stories. I asked you guys to submit your worst date horror stories, and oh boy, did you deliver. The Google form that I made was open for less than a day. I think that I made it in the afternoon, went about the rest of my day, went to sleep, woke up in the morning, and I had like 1,100 responses. And then I just had to close it because I was like, I'm sure there is something in this pig trough of horror story slop for me to, pick my way through. But before we get into things, I just want to say that I have some exciting news. Exciting news alert. February 12th. February 12th, I will have a new short film coming out on my YouTube channel. It is called Her Curse. It's a sapphic dark comedy with some horror elements, okay? I will read the logline to you now. Straight from the source, IMDb. A woman in Brooklyn attempts to place a curse on her ex by following the steps of a how-to article. So, just in time for Valentine's Day, some toxicity. I'm real toxic. I am unfortunate the crazy ex, right? But here is the teaser trailer so that you guys can get a better sense of the film before it comes out. Tune in and watch. It was super fun to be a part of, and I'm excited for you guys to all see it. All right, now enough with the lights, camera, action. Cut the cameras, because now we're gonna dive into the horrors. Actually, I think I did this last time too. Let me start out with a horror story of my own. Honestly, I don't think I have any like horror stories of like, this keeps me up at night, I need therapy for this, right? I think that, okay, one time I went on a date with a woman and she told me, point blank period, I see myself ending up with a man. Hey, I thank you for getting that out of the way, right? In a certain ways, maybe that was a horror story, but also it was her being direct. And I actually really appreciate that, right? Better for me to find out, on the first date than at the altar, right? Another time I went on a date and listen, it happens, no, maybe a little bit of judgment because obviously there was not a second date, but nice person, totally well-intentioned, got sloshed, way too drunk on the first date. Unfortunately, I did feel like the super nanny trying to wrangle in this drunk woman. But I hope you're both doing well, and I hope I wasn't a horror story for you, and if I was, then I'm happy that you have a story to tell people. Their horror story was probably like, this woman was interrogating me and asking me questions about my future that I do not even yet know the answer to. Anyways, he took me to both his moms, okay, lesbians, and dad's, oh, I see. And this is why being grammatically correct can sometimes be helpful, right? He took me to both his mom's and dad's house. Mom's with an S at the end for possession of the house, not plural. So I think this is straight, and that's fine. He took me to both his mom's and dad's house to meet his entire family on the first date. Okay, what the fuck? And then later that week, he said that I was the one that was moving in the relationship too fast. Okay. interesting. I mean, this is like the hare telling the tortoise that the tortoise was moving too fast. I just don't think that was quite plausible, right? Oh my God. This situation has me so oh my God, overwhelmed that I can't even speak. Oh, I mean, this guy is taking a page right out of the lesbian handbook, right? I mean, talk about moving fast. If I went on a first date and I met their entire family on the first date, I would shake each and every one of their hands, say, "It's so lovely to meet you. It's so lovely to meet you. This will be the first and last time I'm ever seeing you." Okay, next one. I matched with this guy on Hinge, first bad sign, and he was really insistent on trying to see me even though I was really busy after my 12-hour shift. After a 12-hour shift, I am not doing anything but making sure that every orifice of my body has made some sort of connection with my mattress. After the 12-hour shift, we got food and he said that he was broke. Great. So I was like, okay, whatever, I got it. And he said, thanks. And it was going okay, but he kept talking about Valorant lineups. And asked how many bodies I had. And while he was walking me home, he said, "Do you want to know what I brought just in case?" And he pulls out a vibrator from his bag. So you have your vibrator in your bag, but not your wallet? Me showing up to my date with nothing but a Hitachi 3000 in my tote bag and none of my cards, and I don't have Apple Pay either. Yeah, sorry, I don't have Zelle or Venmo, but what I do have is... well, okay, then continuing on. And then a week later, he pulled up outside of my work with food and texted me on Instagram that he did and was waiting for me. I was unaware. And then I got mad because, and then he got mad because I never responded but was shown as active on Instagram, so I was clearly ignoring him. I was not. And then he left and went home and posted a close friend story across the street of my work with the caption, "What am I doing here? ... I was on his close friend story and told me I was leading him on. First of all, you're gonna show up to my work unannounced after one date? I mean, if we had like a phenomenal first date and it was like love at first sight, and the second you pulled out that, that vibrator out of your merce, pull as soon as you pulled out this giant vibrational wand out of your merce, I was like, I need him. I need to lock this down stat. And you showed up outside of my work, then maybe I would like that. But considering how the first date went, and you're showing up outside of my work unannounced, first of all, I'm busy. I don't know what this person's job was, but assuming if you showed up during my, when I used to be a nurse, I'm gonna stop giving CPR to be like, hang on, this guy that I've been seeing has hot wings down for me in the lobby. So, I can't keep him waiting, or he's gonna post on his close friend story and everyone's gonna know what a huge bitch I am. Also, I will, in a way, give him props for being as bold, as brazen, as to take a picture of the outside of your work and then post on his close friend story, which you are on, saying, "What am I even doing here? What am I even doing here?" He took a picture of, he's holding out the Whopper that he just got you, with a coupon that he had, didn't even pay for it, by the way, and he's gonna take a picture of it outside of your work and saying, "Why do I even fucking bother?" That's crazy, because sometimes it's like, you just have to take the L, and maybe take the L as in think logically. Take the L as in logic, right? If she's not replying to you, maybe it's because she's at work. Sorry, I'm so into into these stories. I fear that many tangents are to be had. It's not a tangent though, actually, because I'm talking about the topic. Long story short, my boyfriend tried to do the boom baya with me on my parents' bed. Disrespectful. That is very disrespectful. I will never be doing anything on my parents' bed besides sleeping and watching a Lifetime movie with my mom that she's not even watching because she's on her iPad and she's about 2.5 minutes from falling asleep. Those are the two activities you should do on your parents' bed. Anything else is, debauchery. I would rather do it on the kitchen floor just after having to make something with flour, because, you know, the flour gets everywhere. I'm just trying to worsen the circumstances, right? I would rather do it on a covered in flour kitchen floor with other debris as well than my parents' bed. And that just goes to show what good of a daughter I am. Jesus. The next one. They tore off my door by accident. Damn. Okay, Hulk ass, like Captain America ass, Iron Man, I just start naming all the Avengers. Opening the door for someone on a first date and you're like, oh, don't worry, I'll get it for you. Chivalry is not dead. You rip it off of its hinges and accidentally swing it around and smack them in the arse with it. Hello? Also, I want to know, like, what door? Are we talking a car door, your bedroom door, the puppy flap, or what's that called? The doggy door? You know, what kind of door are we talking? Perhaps the door was very not well made and that's how it came off so easily. I just have a lot of questions, I guess. I wonder if, I know that they tore off your door, so obviously that's not great because you're like, shit, now I have to like repair this. But I wonder if like at some sort of establishment or something, if they are strong enough to rip the door off of its hinges, is that like kind of sexy? Is that kind of impressive? But sometimes if I were dating men, sometimes if a man is too strong, this is bad to think, but sorry. If a man is too strong, it scares me because I'm like, he could beat me and kill me. There's a lot of women who could beat me and kill me. Hell, there's maybe even some very athletic children who could beat me and kill me. But when a man is too strong, it's like scary, right? In my opinion, for example, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, giving a very gentle giant sort of, I know he would never kill me. I don't know him personally, but he's in the public eye. I just don't think that he would want that reputation for himself, right? Besides I don't think he's a murderer. But if he wanted to, he could flick me on the forehead and my cranium would go flying acres and acres like when a golf ball is hit by a driver. But yeah, okay, tangent done. Next thing, I went on a date with this guy and the whole dinner he was spitting. Facts or saliva? My bet is on the latter. I thought it was a bit gross, but I kept eating. Later, he started making a gagging noise, and I was like, what is up with this guy's mouth? A couple minutes later, he threw up all over the table, and the waiter asked us to leave. He tried to kiss me after, but I just backed up and pretended this date never happened. I guess he was not feeling well. I think that I have empathy for the guy, right? Because if you have to throw up, I need to either continue suffering until it eventually does come out within the next like 20 minutes, or I need to shove my fingers down my gullet and just get rid of it now. I mean, I think that I don't think that he was sitting there like, all right. Ew, that noise is so gross. If he could have not thrown up, I think he would have done that, right? Obviously, still super unpleasant for you, but I would argue even more embarrassing for him, so I do feel bad for him. Where his flaw was, right? Trying to kiss you after, you're not even gonna swish around some Listerine first, like, you're not even gonna pop a Trident in there. This is oh, this is absolutely ludicrous. Next one. On the first date with my ex, he told me he doesn't support abortions. Great. But I had no self-respect back then and dated him for a year after that. Even better. I'm not trying to judge you, but this is some lessons, they just need to be learned, right? And you learned your lesson. So that was a huge red flag and I should have noticed it. But I was being delulu because I really liked him and had been talking to him 6 months prior. Worst relationship I've been in, look for the red flags, ladies. Yes, definitely look for the red flags. Ask who they voted for. I'm not kidding, by the way. See if your morals are aligned. And I know some people are like, oh, we shouldn't let politics get in the way. Like, we should all be able to sing Kumbaya. The red and the blue mesh and we make purple. Ooh, no. Sometimes politics do interlock with morals, right? A lot of policies, okay, hang on. I'm actually not going to get into this because if I get into this, I fear that I won't stop talking. But let's just say, yes, look out for the red flags. And sometimes those red flags are, well, quite literally red. Forgot my name. Mind you, we had been snapping for a couple of days. My name is on my snap. And I caught him after we hooked up. No. Okay. Yeah, anyways, asshole, if you're seeing this, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. And that's just the bare minimum. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm about to say something. We speak and we don't judge, or whatever that thing is. I don't think this is the worst thing. I've always known their names, but sometimes just not like their last names or like what they do for work and things like that. Maybe sometimes that's not good. I hook up with a girl, hypothetically, and I'm like, oh, afterwards I'm like, post-coitus, I'm like, what do you do for work? And she's like, oh, I work for Lockheed Martin. I'm like, oh, fuck. But to hook up with someone that you have been communicating with and you don't know their name, I mean, I guess it's one thing if it's like, you see a sexy stranger at the bar and no words are even exchanged, just passionate, open-mouth kisses. That's one thing. Snapping and texting and this or that and you don't know their name is crazy. That is, I mean, unless you have amnesia. I'm putting myself in this person's shoes and just imagining myself laying in bed with someone. We just, did stuff. And they turn over to me, look me straight in my eyes and say, what's your name again? Wow. That's rich. Okay, this one says, he wouldn't let me in his house because it was so messy, so we sat in a shed in the middle of winter. Also, he wouldn't let me eat my lunch, salad, because the smell of the pepper upset him. I think it's interesting that obviously I have no idea how long in advance this date was planned, but he thought, yeah, I don't really feel like cleaning my house. It'd be fine if I just took her to the shed out back. Huh? You are not going to take the time to clean your... That would benefit you too. Also, damn, your nose is really that sensitive that you can't handle the smell of some bell peppers? And it's like, are you even going to offer me some of your food? Are you... I mean, I would rather eat, gnaw on a plain chicken breast, then eat nothing. God, that sounds like an awful date. I'm sorry that happened to you. Okay, next thing. When I went on a date with my first and last boyfriend in high school, I didn't really like him, but I thought I would give it a shot. Many such cases. We were eating ice cream and talking about celebrities and influencers, and he mentioned how his favorite celebrity was Madison Beer. The rest of the date, he talked about how beautiful she was and how no other girl was ever going to be good enough for him. I tried to change the subject of the conversation, and he started asking me about my previous relationships, but I hadn't been in any, and I said, what about you? And then he went on another rant about how his ex-girlfriend was the most beautiful girl he'd ever seen. Throughout our relationship, he would remind me that I wasn't as pretty or skinny as his ex-girlfriend or Madison Beer. I feel like obviously I don't know like the races of these people, but as an Asian woman, I feel like the way maybe white women would feel towards Madison Beer is how Asian girls feel towards Chaewon of Les Sserafim, right? If I started dating someone and they were like, oh, I love Chaewon so much, or I love Sana of Twice, I love them, da, da, da. It's like one of those things where it's like, okay, great. So basically you're making me feel like, I feel like I am a Teddy Graham bear cracker, and you're telling me that you love a real grizzly. Not to be self-deprecating, I'm just saying like K-pop idols are literally, they don't look like real people, right? That's not great. That is not great at all. When you are dating someone, you should be legally and contractually obligated to... You are the most beautiful person. And some people are like thinking like, well, I don't want to lie. I want to be objective and this or that. I guess if you're in love with someone, don't they become the most beautiful person to you? Imagine if my girlfriend asked me, who is the most beautiful woman in the world? And I said some random influencer or celebrity, or God forbid, my ex-girlfriend. What the? Oh my God. Oh my God. That is, I'm putting myself in your shoes right now. Okay, I'm putting myself in your shoes. I ask my girlfriend, who's the most beautiful woman in the world? Not only does she not say me, she says Madison Beer and her ex-girlfriend. Oh my God, I'm gonna go ballistic to such a degree that a national alert has to be sent out. A global alert. Yeah, this is all to say, I'm sorry that happened to you. Next one. When I was 15, I really liked this guy and I wanted to go to the movies with him. I suggested we go as friends, but he basically went, no, it's a date. Even after I expressed I'd liked if we went as friends. That's probably where I should have went, yeah, maybe I just shouldn't go because it's clear we aren't on the same page. But I went anyway. I showed up alone because our movie was at 4:30. He didn't show up till 6, y'all. I don't blame him for the reason he was late, but for a date, this was going really bad. For a first date, this was going really bad. When I finally got to take him in, I noticed he on flip-flops. Flip-flops in the movies, Ethan? Because it wasn't a date, we decided I'd pay for the tickets and he'd buy the snacks. Guess who had to buy 4 tickets because he missed our first movie and snacks because he didn't have any money on him. I've always gone by the tradition that whoever asked the person out on a date pays, so because I asked him to the movies as friends, I felt obliged to pay. I don't know. We didn't even end up seeing a movie I liked. The worst part, this entire date took place during a major blackout in our city. And all of the traffic lights were cut off, and there were about 3 inches of water all over the entire city. So safe to say me and him haven't talked about romancing each other since. Stick to women, y'all. Hashtag winners love winning. Hashtag Wallawa. Hashtag WLW. I have to say, flip-flops to the movies is pretty crazy, especially considering that there is evidently a flood happening in your entire city. Yeah. I don't know, the last thing you would want to wear is flip-flops. To me, right? I know some people might be like, oh, well, you know, they dry off faster, right? They're also open-toed and you could step on a glass shard. Hey, Emily. First of all, I love your content. Thank you. And here's my horror story. I had a long-distance relationship for a while back in 2023 and decided to fly over there and meet her. It was my first WLW relationship. Many such cases. I met up with her and her friends and went on a date with them following along. All seemed normal and fine until in the middle of a clothing section, she gets a call to go home. I ask if I can come along because it was agreed for me to stay over at hers. She says yes, and the group quickly goes to McDonald's. Boycott. When at McDonald's, her bus arrived and she suddenly left me and got on the bus. Oh my God. Okay. I stood there dumbfounded and looked at her friend who was as confused as I was, and he called her asking why she had left me at McDonald's in a place I had never been in my life. She said she just had to go. Okay. Hello? So the friend took me to his place, and for the rest of the day, he tried flirting with me and shit-talking the then girlfriend I had. I honestly should have listened to him because she ended up cheating on me with 8 different guys and turned straight. First of all, I would love to know why she just left you. That's a bit crazy, especially not great etiquette for a first date. Abandonment on the first date? Jesus, can't we wait until 6 months in? Also, cheating on you with 8 different guys? With 8 different guys? I do hope that you weren't aware of this and it was brought to your attention later and that you didn't, like, forgive her 8 times in a row. But if you did, if that is the case, Jesus take the wheel, never do that again. All right, well, next one. Hey, Emily. So basically, I went on a movie date with this guy, and we'll call him Daisy. So I got there and I was like, what movie are we watching again? And he proceeded to say Kung Fu Panda 4. Okay, I think that's awesome, actually. I like that movie. So I don't know if you're trying to insinuate that Kung Fu Panda is not a good franchise, but I actually quite enjoy it, so. And I was like, okay, whatever, that's chill, I guess. Until we got to the counter and he ordered a shit ton of snacks and a slushie. Then begged me to pay for all of it. Oh my God, like, where is this, all of these guys are coming, like, listen, I think that whoever asked who out on the date should pay. If I were straight or bisexual or pan whatever, or even just gave a lucky guy a chance one day, if I asked you out, I will pay if you're a man. I don't care. I asked you out, right? But if you asked me out, I would like you to pay, or at least go 50-50. So he didn't bring money. And we were watching the movie and he wouldn't let me have any of the 3,000 snacks he got. Okay, greedy. Greedy by Ariana Grande, much. Then he asked to come home with me and I said no because I had decided at this point I did not like this guy and did not want to continue further. And then he told me he was going to kill himself. Awesome. Obviously he didn't. But anyway, a few weeks later on my birthday, my friends and I had gone to an outdoor mall to shop and stuff. Then we all go back to my house and my front door is unlocked, even though I locked it before we left. And we were like, oh, that's weird. And we went inside the house and guess who was standing in my fucking kitchen? So I asked him to leave and he said he couldn't because his mom wouldn't be here to pick him up till 8:30. It was 6 p.m. And my friends and I could literally not get him to leave. So I called my dad to come kick him out because he refused to leave and kept trying to kiss me. Oh my God. He needs to be beat up. Sorry. I actually, no, like, I'm not sorry, actually. He needs to be beat up. You're gonna break into my house and then be mad that I don't want to kiss you? And also, you didn't give me any of your snacks. If you would have given me maybe a little caramel corn kernel, maybe things would be different. But I'm just kidding. Next story. We went to my elementary school that I got bullied a lot in. Interesting date spot. He kept trying to make out with me and there were kids playing on the playground, and when I mentioned them, he said the trees were hiding us. The trees were behind the kids on the playground. I don't like that. I don't know, I feel like, is that like illegal? Like indecency in front of children or something like that? Though I don't know if kissing is considered indecency. I mean, if it was like sloppy French disgusting slobber dripping down your necks, you know, then that's one thing. And then, of course, you would have children going home saying, Mommy, I saw something really interesting today and I'm scared for the future. Another time, the same guy was making out with me in my room when a soggy piece of cracker made its way into my mouth from his. I didn't want to embarrass him, so I swallowed it. Oh, no, was not worth it. He wasn't even cute. I just felt bad. I'm like gonna throw up. Out of all of the items of food to be swapped into another person's mouth during a kiss, I want to say that a soggy piece of cracker is one of the worst things. Ew. I'm trying to think of what would be worse than that. Maybe like cottage cheese. Cottage cheese, some sort of like gizzards. Sorry, I need some time to think. Okay, let's move on. We went to see Frozen 2 and then I went back to his house and he had a shrine for Elsa. Like, not a friendly obsession, but a literal I want Elsa to marry me thing going on. I just smiled and nodded. The thing is I'm like, yeah, that's crazy, but I'm acting as if I also don't have posters of women on my wall. I do think for specifically Elsa, it's a bit interesting. It's a bit interesting. I feel like for this guy, talking dirty, he would be like, tell me that you want the storm to rage on. Tell me that the cold never bothered you anyways. Yeah, I think I would be weirded out too, and maybe it's a little hypocritical because I do have posters of women on my wall, but they're real women, and it's not just one specific woman. I don't know. I'm not the fucking cops. Anyways, so I met this girl on Hinge and then we talked for a while, and in typical Wolawa culture, took us too long to figure out that we liked each other. We went to this place for our first date and it turned out to be a Wednesday themed birthday party for a 10-year-old child. Oh yeah, she ghosted me after. I cannot with that. Being like, babe, come on, I know a spot. And the spot in question is a Wednesday themed birthday party for a child. I feel like the kids at the Wednesday themed birthday party would be, you know, acting how frat boys act at a frat party, where they like would look at you and be like, who do you know here? Because literally, who do you know here? Like, why are you here? Okay, this next one is, I paid $40 for a train journey to see a girl, and an hour before she canceled, saying, I don't think I can give my all to this date because I'm currently seeing someone. That's happened to me before. Not that exact thing, but something akin to that. Mind you, 3 hours before she said, "Are you still down for the date? Looking forward to seeing you." So $40 down the drain, and I was like, thanks for being honest, I guess. 2 weeks later, she messaged me saying, "Hey, guess you can tell it didn't work out. Do you still want to go on that date?" And I just ghosted her. Like, me being the backup is crazy. That is so disrespectful. I would feel very disrespected receiving that message. Am I still down for the date? Are you still down to be kicked in the shins? No, I'm not still down for the date. I hope you find someone who is. I would like a refund. I want a refund for the first go around. $40 down the drain. That is, unfortunately, with inflation, only around 2 Chipotle bowls. With maybe even less. If you get chips and guac, it could be even less. Damn. Next story. Okay. So when I was in high school, this guy I didn't really know asked me out. Friend of a friend, I think, because he said he wanted to get to know me. On our second or third date, we were at the mall after school. He pulled out a promise ring and proposed. Oh, hold your horses to such a degree that I actually don't know how I'm going to finish that sentence. Let me think. Hold your horses to such a degree that you are lifting them each up with each arm. That is how much they are held. Cradle that horse. That's how much it needs to be held. Because a promise ring on a second or third date, you do not know me. Ugh! Oh my God, that would literally send me into such a frenzy that I would be like, I think I'm gonna enter witness protection because what you did just scared me so bad. Okay, sorry, continuing on. Also, sorry, I feel like I seem like a bitch. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess we'll see when I'm editing. It was genuine too. He really wanted to get married as soon as we both turned 18. He moved like 2 months after that and I haven't seen him, lols, but it still haunts me to this day because we were very much in a public place and all of those random mall goers had to witness me dying of embarrassment while a high school boy I barely knew asked me to marry him in 2 years. He is on a mission. Is he Mormon? Respect to all religions or whatever, but that is a thing. That is a thing. Yeah, they really like to open up their scripture and also a box from Every Kiss Begins with K. First of all, if you really wanted me to say yes, you would ask me later when perhaps we know each other, have met each other's families and all of that stuff, right? I feel like the most you can know about me on the third date, genuinely, is my vibe. You can know my star sign, my MBTI, and my vibe. That's really it, right? That is not a basis for marriage. Getting married based on the vibe, And of course, second thing, if you really wanted me to say yes, you wouldn't be doing this in a mall right now, of all places. I go to the mall to get Annie Ann's, not to get engaged. I don't actually, and I don't even go there for clothes anymore either. I really do think I only go there for Annie Ann's. Getting married at 18 is crazy, and I can't even retort in a sarcastic tone and say, "Baby, you should be in the club." Because you're 18. You can't even be in the club. All right, next one. A stork shat on him before our first date had even started. So I had to wait outside of his apartment for like half an hour so that he could change clothes. You know, so he wouldn't be covered in bird poop. Thank you for explaining. Want to know the funniest bit? This was in March 2020, right before COVID. So not only did it not work, but he couldn't break up with me in person. I should have seen the signs. Oh, that's hard. That's hard. In some cultures, I'm pretty sure having a bird poop on you is good luck, though. Because I remember I got shat on by a seagull once in Ocean City, Maryland. I got shat on by a seagull while I was holding a funnel cake. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, I think this means I'm gonna have a good year? Maybe I just made that up. Maybe I was just trying to look on the bright side. Maybe like when bad things happen to you, you can just like convince yourself that it's good luck, right? Like I can, my foot could get run over by a cyber truck. And then I could think to myself, this means reigning in luck and abundance for the new year. Okay, this is gonna be the last one. Last one, guys. I could make several more videos on this because I have not even scratched the surfacey. I have not scratched the surfacey with these things. The surface. One time I was at a guy's house and we were watching YouTube. I pulled up the search bar to look for a video and it was filled with searches for mommy comforts you while you fall asleep, girlfriend says you're a good boy, etc. They were all related to falling asleep and being praised by mommy or something. I asked him about it and he said his brothers must have typed it in as a prank. That's... Oh yeah, that must have been my brothers. Probably they're just doing it as a prank. Yeah, you know my brothers, they're always on my YouTube trying to make up and do things. So it's probably just a prank. I didn't have a reason not to believe him, so I didn't think about it. A day later, he sent me a 3-minute voice message confessing that it actually was him who listened to them before bed and it was my fault because I went to bed too early, so he had to listen to them. And that ended my 2-year relationship. 2-year... Wait, so you guys were together for 2 years? Okay, putting myself in your shoes, I discovered that the person I'm with listens to praising audios. Okay, hang on, I need to think. I think I would be okay with it. I think I would be okay with it. It would definitely need to be like a conversation to be had, right? You know, I wouldn't want to kink shame or anything, and I would also say maybe we need to unpack this in therapy. Tell me about your relationship with your mom. Is everything okay? I also think it's funny how he was trying to pin it on his brothers. Like, me getting my, you know, adult video film history, browser history leaked for the last, like, 2.5 years and being like, that was just a prank. That was just a prank. Someone was probably typing in those things consistently on my phone, like, without me knowing, and it was like, it's a big joke. Anyways. Oh, God, I hope this video doesn't get demonetized. I might have to cut some things out. But, all right. That's enough for now. God, we have not even... there are so many more stories. So honestly, if you guys liked this, I think it's fun. It's like a, I don't know, combination of yapping type videos with some structure, I guess. It's like reaction videos, I guess. Whatever. I don't have to limit myself. I don't have to categorize myself. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope that you guys are doing okay. I hope that you guys are doing okay. I hope that they're, you know, dating, there can be a lot of trial and error, a lot of lessons to be learned. God knows I've learned them. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, February 12th, a new short film will be coming out starring moi. And yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy that too. And have a great day. And God, how many times can I say and in a row? Whatever. Thank you for watching, and until next time.